Welcome back to another episode of the Family Album. I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
And I'm Matt Glass.
Last week you heard our family meeting where we talked about albums that we changed our minds on.
Yes. And I think it had some twists and turns that you and I were both not expecting of each other.
Exactly. It was a fun little trip down memory lane, and a trip down memory lane is necessary because this is the last block of Season 2.
Yes, it is. After this momentous season of different experimental ideas overall.
Yeah.
I know technically it will fall on the last family meeting in the block of the months.
Yeah, that'll be our last episode of Season 2, technically.
But this is kind of a momentous thing for me because we ended on a regular episode last season. So
Yeah.
I think this has just as much impact of
Definitely.
the content that maybe you could take a bit more seriously.
Exactly.
Audience. AJ, I have a question.
Yeah?
Were you alive in 2007 by any chance?
You know what, Matt? It's funny you mentioned that. Boy, howdy, I was. And Matt, do you live in this thing we call a Mercurial World?
Oh boy, I sure did.
But not anymore.
Over the last few hours, but I've come back from my voyage.
I see.
Which voyage is also something you could talk. Okay, we're talking about Alive 2007 by Daft Punk.
And Mercurial World by Magdalena Bay.
Two albums that, oddly enough, with their sci-fi influences, can kind of be cut from like...
The same cloth. Yeah, they have similar
cloth.
Similar cloth. They have definitely a huge emphasis on digital artificial sounds and synthesizers.
Yes.
But I brought on Mercurial World because it's one of my favorite albums of all time, and I'd like to end the season by bringing on an all-time favorite. And Matt brought on Alive 2007.
Because that is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
I interrupted you again, AJ.
That's okay. I was hoping you would take over and didn't have to speak for you, so thank you.
I would hope I wouldn't have to speed feed. I was trying to say spoon feed, but maybe you should honestly spoon feed me my lines. I can't talk evidently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, these are the albums that that we are actually reviewing today.
Exactly.
And AJ,
Yeah?
I didn't write down the history for my album, so can I just do that?
We're gonna cut real quick.
Can I just do that really quickly?
And we're back. Matt now has his history.
Thank God.
And I guess with that, what album would you like to start with first, Matt?
AJ, it is entirely up to you. I can honestly do either or.
Either or. Well, you have given me some interesting opinions on the album I gave to you, so I kind of want to save that for the end, because I feel like that could be so nice little back and forth, whereas I feel we'll have very similar opinions for your album.
Okay, then let's do Alive 2007 first.
Sounds good.
Get this fucking beast of an album out of the way.
Yeah.
So Alive 2007 was released on November 19th of 2007, obviously, and it was recorded at a concert tour on June 14th, 2007, and released through Virgin Records.
Oh, nice.
It only had one single, and it is actually the Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger one,
okay.
which makes sense because that is like one of the most popular songs. But also, there's so much better content than that one,
100%.
in my opinion. Like, oh my God, some more songs that go so much harder, better, faster,
and stronger, even.
If you will.
While also using that same melody.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
It's pretty crazy. But yeah, if you don't know who Daft Punk is, like, or who Daft Punk are. Well, they're one singular. Yeah, it's true. Who Daft Punk was. Daft Punk was a duo that comprised of Guy Manuel Honum de Cristo, actually De Honum Cristo, my bad.
All good.
And Thomas Bangalter, actually.
French.
Yes. It looks like Thomas Bangalter. Sounds like a fucking Frank Reynolds name. Hey, I'm
Thomas Bangalter.
Charlie, you banger over the altar. Anyway, I don't know. But yeah, this is a live album.
The gang solves the Catholic crisis.
Yeah, the gang stayed alive in 2007. This is a live album that's really near and dear to my heart. I'm a huge Daft Punk fan, as we've established with the Human After All episode, which go listen to that.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
I promised AJ at some point I would bring him this one, and I'm very excited to talk about it because I feel like for the most part we kind of have similar like views on Daft Punk for the, like generally.
Definitely, I'd say so.
This album is definitely tedious to get into, which you know, it's a live album, so I can kind of forgive it for that for the most part.
Exactly. Like you're not here for the album, you're kind of there for like the experience.
For the experience, and if you followed up with Daft Punk's discography at this point, it incorporated Discovery,
Homework,
and then Human After All.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a very rewarding listen for longtime Daft Punk fans.
And it's like it's like an I Spy book almost.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Like, and that's what
There's
I think
like
I love
little Easter
about
eggs everywhere. It's great.
Yeah. I'm gonna be gushing about pretty much each track on here, even the ones I don't love as much. I'm like, this kind of goes hard.
Yeah. And better and faster and strong.
We've been kind of talking about it enough. I think we should maybe
Hop right into it.
Let's
do it.
So first off, we start off with this really, I'd say a killer opener for a live show. There are videos, by the way, of the live show
They got
on
the big
YouTube.
pyramid, right?
It's dope as fuck, let me tell you. But it starts off with this hybrid song of Robot Rock and Oh Yeah.
Yes.
I believe Robot Rock is off of Human After All, and then Oh Yeah is off of Homework.
Okay.
I want to say.
I don't know. I was looking up some of these tracks. I wasn't sure like what their relation to certain albums were. I could be completely wrong about Oh Yeah, but I know some were specifically just for that live show. I'm pretty sure
There was I'm pretty sure there was a track called Oh Yeah
on Homework.
They definitely have like its
Oh Yeah.
It's not very good by itself.
Okay.
I can say because
But here it's pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah. No, like it's that's pretty much the whole song.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a song called Oh
Homework,
Yeah
okay.
on Homework.
I'm thinking of someone else then.
Yes, you are. I'm trying to think of. I think actually
We'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah. We got quite a few tracks to go.
Exactly. And first off, killer fucking opener. It's very well done.
I really love the way that it kind of eases you into the fact that you're about to listen to Robot Rock.
Yeah.
Well, it's more like they utilize different elements of their material all across like each track.
Yes.
But it's like Robot Rock, and it kind of has this really distorted, like
a glitchy kind of like synth. It builds tension really well, where it starts off really slow before going into the actual song, and it combines elements of Robot Rock and Human After All to create this really cool melody before going into Oh Yeah, like halfway through.
I remember when I was in high school and I discovered this album. Really just discovering Daft Punk in general.
It was your
discovery, if you will. I remember thinking like, I heard that, and I was like, what the fuck is that? What do they say? I hear it saying robot, but what are they saying? But then it speeds up and it goes human, and I'm like, that it sends chills down my spine.
They do that a few times on this album, which is really cool.
No, really, it's so dope. They kind of slow it down and then speed it up, and then once it picks up speed, it's just
it doesn't stop.
It's like a fucking party in your ears, like genuinely.
It's great.
One huge thing that I think for people who want to listen to this record, it was recordized. It was put on vinyl, recorded, recordized. You like that?
Coined the family album.
Quite a redemption, if I do say so myself. No, one of the things, if you want to listen to this album, is the audience is very much there.
Yeah.
Where early criticism of mine, I will say, sometimes I love it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I really, really hate it.
There's a really good moment on a couple tracks we'll get to where I think the audience is utilized very well. But I have an opposite thought to you where I feel like there's not enough audience at points.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like it sounds a little barren for like the arena they were playing.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? That's actually a pretty good point. For me, who wanted to just hear the music,
which is
that
fair.
makes sense. But from that whole framing of a live album, I can definitely see that.
Yeah, that was like my only criticism of the audience is that at points it sounds like a little empty, especially compared to our other live album we reviewed, Bare Naked Ladies.
Bare Naked Ladies,
Rock Spectacle. But otherwise, I think this album is fantastic.
We're only on track number 1.
All right, final thoughts.
No, but I mean, like, it utilizes the Robot Rock thing so well. And then it has some like really interesting like little twists and turns.
Exactly.
Where it has like the most compressed sounding like in the middle of it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It takes you for a ride, like right off the bat.
Yeah, and you kind of get a sense of where this album's going to go, especially when it hard switches into Oh Yeah, which then kind of segues into the next track very well. It's like a nice kind of calm down.
It really, really is. And this second track is probably one of my favorite ones on this record.
Yeah, this one's cool.
It goes so fucking hard. So it is Touch It / Technologic.
I think this is the one I was thinking of. I don't know this is on an album specific Touch It.
There isn't a Touch It on here. This is an album specific one. Because Touch It is actually like just part of the lyrics of Technologic. And what they do here is so fascinating. They like pitch down the Technologic vocals, which are already pitched up, kind of making it sound like this really creepy, like artificial, like
like AI kind of voice.
Yeah. And then at one point, the fuck it, but it's still going to the
robot rock, which is so fucking cool.
It's such a nice detail.
With the oh yeahs in the background too. It's such a great like mix. It's awesome.
I do have one little complaint. I think the transition between the original Technologic like key and this is really stupid sounding.
Fair.
And, like, I don't know. The beat just kind of like feels a little weird.
Yeah, it kind of like I said, it has like skeletal percussion. Wait, never mind. I meant skeleton percussion, as it sounds like you're playing percussion on a skeleton.
Yeah, actually, that sums it up, honestly.
All right, next track.
No, but like I really do like this track a lot.
Yeah,
it goes so hard. And it also has the part in the so good. So good.
I really like the emphasis of the bass on this track too, just how like hearty it feels. And just like the lower pitch, it is a very kind of nice come down from what we heard before. And I feel like it makes the most of all of its samples. It sounds really clean too, which makes sense because it's all like a recording. And
it's Daft Punk.
They
pride themselves on kind of like making the most and like really just full sound. I feel like
totally
from all their samples. But that one kind of cuts off at the very end.
Yeah,
and just directly kind of goes into this next track.
One of the best on the album.
It's probably like my third favorite on here. It is the Television Rules the Nation / Crescendolls. Television Rules the Nation combo. Yeah. And first of all, they pitched down Television Rules the Nation.
Yeah.
And it sounds epic already.
I know, it's awesome.
With the
and you hear the crowd chanting the melody along.
Another moment that sends chills down your spine.
Which is so fucking awesome.
This album, production and like musicality aside, really just shows how much of an impact Daft Punk had on their audience up to this point.
In 2007, when those people were alive.
I mean, what? Like, in all seriousness, think about it like this, right? Like, you have like Homework, which was like an immediate success.
Yeah.
You got
Discovery, which boosted them even higher,
and was bolstered by Interstellar 4-5, which everybody fucking loves that whole experience.
Yeah.
Guys, watch Interstellar 4-5. It's like one of my favorite pieces of media in existence. And then you have these really, I don't know, interesting discography, like record choice of Human After All.
Yeah.
But here I feel like is when Human After All makes sense.
Exactly. When you just see it combined with like the rest of their like legacy is really fucking cool.
And even though I think it works well as a standalone album, some of y'all might disagree, which is perfectly fine. I'm just also a die-hard Daft Punk fan.
Yeah.
I think the way they utilize all the Human After All elements in this is just unreal.
I like how prominent it is throughout as well.
Yeah.
Even though since it's like their most recent album, they're like really kind of pushing it, but it's not like forced. It just works.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think Human After All, for the most part, is pretty skeletal in itself.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So I think having that already kind of like made of skeletal components.
Yeah, being able to like implement everything else on top of it just made it really easy.
Exactly. And with Television Rules the Nation, it's already pretty fucking great because you have like the like the gooey synth kind of like deal. You like that, AJ?
That was good.
You already have that like happening a bit, like with all these like different sort of crescendo moments as it crescendos into the crescendo. The Crescendolls.
Dude, when that hits, that's like one of my favorite moments on the album. I love that sample and how well it like combines with Television Rules the Nation, like that beat. It rules. It goes so hard.
It really does. And then like you hear this like the brr, 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 and all of a sudden just this insane like disco. That just sounded like Mario Kart music when we did it, AJ. We're not Daft Punk.
We're Daft
Craft. We're Craft
Punk?
We're Crap.
We are Crap.
We are, we suck. It's fine.
But you guys know that. You listen to this podcast.
Yeah, it's true. Like, what are we? That's true. That's
got nothing to prove.
That's very, very, very true. But yeah, no, this is probably one of my favorite tracks on this record. I think the way they utilize just everything in this track is so good. So well. And then when they're on top of each other, it's just like...
And like the Crescendolls, just like all like the busy mix of Crescendolls really complements just like the kind of staccato skeletal beat of Television Rules the Nation really well. It just adds flair to that like the thing that's holding it down, which works beautifully.
Shall we move on to the next track?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a track I didn't really like when I was in high school, but it kind of grew on me.
Yeah.
I do think it's still way too long.
Yeah, that's a criticism I have about some of these songs, which is kind of not valid because it's a live show.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I will say though, like it kind of, because it's the Too Long / Steam Machine combo.
Yeah.
And I believe Steam Machine comes back if I'm not mistaken.
I think it does. I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah. It's either Steam Machine.
Oh, no, it's Too Long.
Too Long comes back.
Yeah.
You're right. Listen, I like the song Too Long by Daft Punk.
Yeah.
However, one thing I always thought to myself when I would listen to it, AJ,
Dare I say,
is that it just might be. Like, even by itself, I always thought it was kind of too long. Like, you combine it with Steam Machine.
a song that is also arguably.
And it's not like the Steam Machine on Human After All is not an album, or it's not a track. I mean, that's like, oh yeah, I really could
A
just
steam machine.
a crunch of that glass on.
A crunch of that steam machine.
It's a dishwasher.
A puff of that steam machine.
Oh my god, it's just a fucking hookah. That's a steam machine.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this one is kind of interesting because it kind of does like this like consistent like kind of like little thing going on, like that tempo, but then it slows down.
It does, dude. Yeah.
And really just kind of like goes so down in energy, but then it kind of picks itself back up. And it's weird because I think the slowing down of the vocals works in some areas.
Yeah.
But then when you slow down like the go move of Too Long.
We go move.
Oh, we go move.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like so. I remember just thinking like, this is
It sounds like kind of gimmicky.
a little bit. But then when it picks up again, as it just kind of goes like, go move, go move.
And have like the steam machine kind of underlying that as well. It's just cool.
That part kind of goes hard. So I won't lie.
I'll say like the one critique you have of this song is that like the beat of Steam Machine is kind of missed. Like the musical elements of that song rather than just like the vocal hook. I feel like kind of combining both of those aspects with Too Long would have been cooler, but I can understand it's probably kind of tough to mash those together.
The lights also did kind of correspond with like the really wispiness of Steam Machine.
I gotcha. And they also had like a 1,000-pound fog machine spewing steam, right?
That's all. That's all. Like, really? Just takes that one little thing, you know? No, but this one definitely grew on me. It's definitely not in like my top 5 favorite tracks, which I can get into at the end of this. But yeah, no, it grew on me. But when I was in high school, I thought, ugh, what is this?
This, you know what this is? This is Too Long.
Imagine if I was just like, this is Steam Machine. Oh my god. I think I've said enough about this track.
Do I have anything else to say? Let's see. No. I think I said my piece with this song pretty much.
Apologies if we're not really talking about the musicality of this. This is a comprised of like many different mashups of previously released Daft Punk songs.
And if you want to hear our thoughts on the individual songs
for Human After All,
you can listen to that.
What was the album paired with that one?
Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking.
Oh yeah, the one album is significantly better than the other album,
and the other is by Daft Punk.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
I hard agree. Roger Waters and Daft Punk are not on the same echelon.
they're just part of 2 different demographics, to be honest.
There are 2 wolves, you know?
Yeah.
One is Daft and one is Punk.
Punkin' you. Yeah, exactly. Shall we continue to the next one?
Yeah, the single, apparently.
The single, apparently, that I might say might be in the leading for one of the least enjoyable ones for me.
Interesting, okay.
I think, like, you know, it's Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger with Around the World.
Yeah.
And I'm not the biggest fan of Around the World.
I was going to say, I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I've never really cared for this song.
I think the music video is cool, and I like the concept of how in the original music video, it's like people are dancing, but to specific beats of different, really specific stems and elements of the song. Like
gotcha.
Some people are dancing to like what the bass is doing. Some people are dancing to what the beat is doing.
That's cool.
Some people, like, that's a neat concept. They're always full of neat concepts.
But the song itself is just kind of lackluster.
And I feel like pairing it with one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic Daft Punk song was kind of a weird decision.
I think it makes sense because like Around the World was like the most popular from Homework, either that or Defunk, which I prefer Defunk way more.
Defunk is so good.
Yeah. So I can kind of see where the idea was like our biggest songs from like our first 2 albums and let's put them together. And like it kind of works for the most part.
Yeah.
But I can see why Around the World kind of brings it down a little bit. But the Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger stuff still fucking rips.
It does. Yeah. I mean, it's just...
I think there's a part in here where like it goes into like the kind of main beat of the song, and then like throughout every like second measure you have the upbeats of like the chorus of Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger come in, which is a really cool moment. It just kind of like accents everything, which is like, hey, these guys have a future in production.
They just might get somewhere, you know? Oh man.
And 6 years later they worked with Pharrell Williams.
Yes, they did. You know, it's funny, like that song off of Random Access Memories, like it obviously, Get Lucky.
Yeah.
But also, when you take the song for what it is, besides all the replays and like the annoying like hype up of it, it's still kind of a solid song.
I know, man.
Also, Nile Rodgers.
Yeah, I think so.
Damn, man. Yeah. He's fucking tight as fuck.
He shreds.
He really does. But we're not talking about that. Not yet, anyway. We fucking could. I could talk forever about that, too.
Stick around for season 3 or later, maybe.
Or, Tom hates AJ.
Or AJ and Tom's Let's Play.
So shall we continue?
I think we shall continue.
AJ, this is the Burning / Too Long mashup.
Yes, it is.
And I don't know if you thought the same thing, but this track also just might be... just a little.
One more time.
Too long. It's actually funny you said one more time because like
that is a Daft Punk song.
Yeah,
and we'll also get to that later.
We'll get to that later. We'll get to that. Shut the fuck. We'll get to that later, okay?
Come on, Mom. Come on, chill down.
Yeah. Seriously.
You're getting a little rowdy.
Seriously. Have some respect.
We love you, but come on, keep it in line.
Yeah. Seriously.
Anyway, Burning too long. That bit went on for too long, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's true. You are correct. And this song, in my opinion, also kind of goes on for too long.
Yeah, this is the one where it has like the kind of like the pin whistle like opener, the whoosh.
And I feel like doing that for like it works a little bit later.
Yeah.
But frankly, because Burnin does appear a little bit later as well. I feel like pairing that with Too Long, like I'm not going to Homework to listen to Burning.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm not going to Discovery to listen to Too Long.
Too Long is only fun when you're watching Interstellar 5555.
Yeah.
And you see the ending and you're like, oh wow, it's so neat.
Like it's a great closer.
And it was all just a dream, you know?
Wow, I guess we really were in a stone.
No, I mean, it is a good closer. And
Yeah.
the song by itself, like, it does have really fun elements to it, especially with that, like, percussion. But, like, I don't know.
I wouldn't like listen to it by itself.
I wouldn't listen to this by itself.
Yeah, I will say, though, the Crescendolls melody comes back, which is a really nice touch, and that's probably my favorite part of this track.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's solid, again, for what it is. Like, I would say there's no real bad track on this album.
Yeah.
There's just, like, a little nitpicks.
This one might be, might be in the leading for one of the ones that I listen to the least, is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
I gotcha, which is very fair.
Shall I move on to the next track?
Yeah. Apparently, I like this one because I put a star next to it.
Yes, I also like this one.
Oh, yes, I do know why.
This one grew on me a little bit less, but it's still pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's One More Time / Aerodynamic, which, right?
Do we
no,
skip
it's
one?
not. No, it's
Okay.
not. It's not actually.
It's Back in London by Macy Peters.
Listen, I looked up the history of man, and all I found were pictures of apes. Man,
We love you, Andrew Cavalier.
We do.
Shout
we do.
out. And Elizabeth Cavalier.
Mostly Andrew, but it's
Mostly
okay.
Andrew.
It's okay. Number 7 is actually Face to Face / Short Circuit.
Yeah, I think this one
and
works.
this one fucks so hard.
This one rips.
Face to Face is such a good Daft Punk song
really
that
is.
people do not talk about
I know.
enough still.
It's fantastic.
Like Short Circuit is also a fun little like element to it, but
And you put them together.
it makes for quite a listening
Yeah.
experience.
And you also add in Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger in there as well. What a great combo.
No, really.
It's fantastic.
This track gets crazy. Like it starts the artwork is never over. Like it does that, and it just like starts dampening it, and then like really bring it to the forefront as it like rises in volume.
And the tempo increases, and you have like the verses of Face to Face, which is really fucking cool.
They kind of treat that how they did like the Human After All, or the Robot Rock. Like intro song.
Exactly.
Because they slow it down a bit. They don't pitch it down, but they slow it down. Can we also just talk about like, is this Todd Edwards who sings this, or is this?
I wouldn't know.
Or is this Tomas Bangalter? Because Todd Edwards is the guy they worked with.
Okay.
I believe. He also does Fragments of Time off of Random Access Memories.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Which I love. All their features are amazing. I love all their features.
Yeah.
I really like the way that Face to Face sounds on this one.
I know, I love it. It's so good.
I feel like it also builds off of the Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger thing so well.
Yeah.
And then when it ends on Short Circuit, they somehow made Short Circuit like even more important, I feel like. Because when it would come on in like Discovery, I'm always just like, oh yeah, this is a fun little track. But then the way that like they shut down that like part.
Yeah, and then go into the next, it's really cool.
It's so fun. Oh my God. This is a very, very fun track, and it's probably one of the best ones.
I agree.
High School Matt really fucked with this.
And current AJ liked it because he put a star next to it.
Oh, man. Anything else to say about Face to Face?
Nah, just a really good track overall.
Really, really, really good track. This next track, I have mixed feelings about just a little bit. It's the One More Time Aerodynamic mix.
Yeah.
I have kind of like mixed feelings about it because like I think I like how it's one more time and then it does the aerodynamic thing.
The riff.
But then they kind of start playing them on top of each other, and I kind of feel like it doesn't work.
I disagree. I think it works pretty well in my opinion. But I can definitely see why. It doesn't really sound like I guess it blends as well. It more sounds like they're just kind of playing next to each other.
Yeah, and they also do like this sort of like stutter effect with the music got me like they do that.
That's true too.
That part, and then like then the beat gets like a little bit weird, and this is kind of where like the beat sounds a little bit washy, but then there's also the audience, they have it like really phasing in and out in this one.
Gotcha.
Like super noticeably phasing in and out.
Okay.
Which like I feel like we kind of feel it in like in reverse. I like the parts where the audience is out of it a little bit more. Yeah,
and I like it when they're included in the whole experience,
But when they are singing the chorus.
Yeah, that part fucking rules. It's so fun.
It's so fun. I also feel like they made Romanthony's voice sound like really weird
in here. I didn't really notice. I thought it was pretty faithful, but that could just be me.
I feel like they did something weird, and it might just be like the setup of like the acoustics of what was happening, because I don't know what kind of mics they were using.
I mean, you know, the acoustics in a pyramid is pretty tough to balance.
As we all know. If you ever tried doing any acoustics in a pyramid.
Any audiovisual gig in a pyramid is a nightmare.
I mean, who knows? I wasn't alive back in 2007, but the thing is, though, I think for the most part, this track works. But it also is just like, eventually the guitar riff gets a little annoying as it's just playing. Like, I feel like the One More Time gets a little bit too buried underneath Aerodynamic. And I know Aerodynamic is such like a prominent
guitar
track
song,
and like iconic moment on Discovery. I would have preferred a bit more One More Time throughout and maybe just dial back Aerodynamic like a little bit.
I gotcha. And I think that's completely fair. I really like this track a lot. I think it blends pretty well, even though it's not as good as it could be. I just like both of those songs. And just hearing them together, I think it's just really cool. And I just get so hyped when the crowd hears like One More Time. That's just such a great moment on the album. And I just love hearing One More Time. So
it's true. It's definitely one of the best parts of this record, I'd say. Like, it's definitely one of the most iconic because it has One More Time.
Exactly.
So, this next one is Aerodynamic Beats. So you kind of have like the same kind of carryover of Aerodynamic with Gabrielle
by Ween.
Yeah, actually. Dude, could you fucking imagine?
That'd be crazy.
I would love that so much.
Ween like comes up on a platform.
Like Diener does that like whole solo
as Aerodynamics. That'd be kind of sick. Holy shit.
Can someone make that happen, please? Just like my favorite current band and like my old favorite current duo. No, it's Aerodynamic Beats, Gabrielle, and Forget About the World. Well, it's really Gabrielle, Forget About the World. That's like the full like
there's
thing.
a comma there.
There is. Yeah, no.
Sound like a Will Woods title if you ask me.
Aerodynamic Beats. Hurt people? Hurt people! Burnin too long. Well, at least it's better than the alternative. Oh my god. That is a joke that nobody was gonna fucking get if they try to listen only right now.
Listen to the Will Woods album to get it.
Oh my god. Obscenely long title. This is the only instance where titles can be this long. No, but yeah, this one, I think after the last track, it's kind of a nice like change of pace a bit. But I also don't think it's very memorable.
Yeah, I didn't really have like too much to say. I thought it was like pretty chill, like a nice calm down. I started drawing in my notebook.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Yeah, not a great sign.
No, not typically. No. Yeah, this one it kind of continues with like Aerodynamic. I say again.
Yeah,
and
I like the inclusion of Brainwasher here, and I think that's a nice kind of like setup for the next track as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought it was just kind of fine for what it is, but it's nothing like super memorable.
I don't really want to be like too much of a party pooper, AJ, but I will say that personally, the next two tracks for me, I'm not like as keen on until we get to track number 12.
Okay.
And then track number 13 is good, but it's like just because it's the closer.
Yeah, it's the finale.
But we could talk about all of them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about number 9?
Not really number 9, but just kind of like in this album, this is kind of like where I start getting a little fatigued.
Yeah.
So my notes and kind of like memorability of the album aren't going to be as strong as the first half.
Yeah.
But again, overall, it's still very solid. So let's just hop in the next one.
So the next one is a very interesting combination, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
It's Prime Time of Your Life, which is my favorite song off of Human After All. Brainwasher, Rollin and Scratchin, and Alive, which is Alive.
I don't know. That might be the Alive 2007 exclusive.
Might be, yeah.
I'm not sure though. Research time.
No, it is. It is actually off of Homework.
Oh, okay, cool.
It is actually off of Homework. It's funny. I don't know why I didn't remember that. But anyway.
Guess you didn't do your... Finish the joke, Matt.
No.
Please don't.
I fucking won't.
Don't make me.
I deserve to not have to finish this joke.
Again, if we had video, that moment would have been a little funnier.
Yeah, no, this is, again, kind of like a weird... This is just a weird mashup.
Yeah. Mostly Human After All tracks, which is kind of cool. Rollin and Scratchin is a cool inclusion. Again, Brainwasher is my favorite part of it. And it has a hard transition from the last track, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does. A lot of these have really, really good transitions.
Yeah.
This one, I don't think I really it was really memorable to me like as much.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But I do like the Prime Time of Your Life bits. I really, really do. And the Brainwasher ones too. Rollin and Scratchin, like it's weird with that one. It's really, really weird with that one because I think they utilize a bit of that 2 tracks later.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
But yeah, with like that pin whistle.
Yeah, the woo.
Because that's also the Burnin one because they utilize that as well. It's everywhere.
There's a bit of like some strange production choices that I'm sure went hard as fuck live
at the concert. Yeah, for people who did their homework
and were alive in 2007.
That's all you had to do to get tickets, guys. You just had to be alive in 2007. Me and AJ, neither of us were alive.
Exactly. Again, we were still growing in our test tubes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Our homunculus eggs.
We always end up talking about homunculi whenever we're we're together.
Fascinated.
Oh my gosh. Niet! Again, if we had video, that would have been so funny. Oh my god.
Perhaps next season.
Stay
tuned.
It would be very, very fun.
Also of note here, I said they like to utilize fade-ins and fade-outs on this track a lot, which got a little old. Again, there's some like gimmicky production here that like the more they do it, the more it loses its luster, I would feel, which is kind of like a little nitpick.
They kind of do that with the audience too, right?
Yeah,
I do remember like there was a point when I was listening to this that the audience kind of like does it.
Yeah, it goes up and down.
A little bit too much, if you really ask me.
Dare I say.
This next track, honestly, though, if you don't have anything else to say, is a nice, like, sort of, it starts to pick it back up.
Definitely.
Because these are both two very iconic Daft Punk songs.
Yeah, from their debut.
You have Da Funk, which is one of my favorite
I love it.
Daft Punk songs of all time.
It's great.
I remember the first time I even ever heard Da Funk. It was playing Just Dance, actually.
I think that's the same thing for me, too.
Because the robots,
Yeah.
I was always the yellow one. Yellow is my favorite color.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It is.
Nice.
Yellow is my favorite color.
Well, I guess while we're sharing secrets, mine's green.
Is it actually?
It is.
Yeah. Nice.
Together we make Sprite.
It's the thirstiest time. Oh, man. Does that make Tom red if it's green, yellow, and red?
I guess so. He is the
red,
cranberry.
He is the red M&M, according to our mutual friend Tenny.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, this was really meant to be, Matt.
So anyway, this track is this track's pretty cool. It's a nice one. I think like they kind of utilize this fusion very, very well.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have like the such a fucking iconic track. I wish I was in the studio when they came up with a lot of these like riffs.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you kind of and
And then you put them together.
and then it's
That's essentially what this album is for the most part. It's just really cool samples overlapping and they sound really good.
yeah. And I think it's cool here.
Yeah.
I really like the way they do it here. It's kind of just like a nice, compared to the last one, it's kind of like a nice little like.
Where the last one was kind of like, I guess, ambitious and it didn't really work too well. This is just kind of simple.
This one like felt like it fit a bit better.
Definitely.
I would say.
I don't have like too much to say about here. Just like, I just like the funk. So I automatically liked it on principle. But it was good, as with most tracks on here.
Yeah, I would honestly say the same. But
Just keep it going.
this next track, AJ,
Yeah,
is actually one that might be either one or two for me
I gotcha.
in terms of my favorites.
Yeah, I know you like this one.
This one, in my opinion, it is the Superheroes, Human After All, and Rock and Roll combo. Here's the thing. On Discovery, Superheroes is one of the best tracks.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
It goes so fucking hard. So when I was listening to this and it combined with my second favorite song on
Human After All.
Human After All,
Yeah.
I was like, AJ, this is why we can't do video. I stick my tongue out when I talk. When I heard that it combined with that, like because I didn't even see the title. I remember when I was listening to this, I was hearing the like that was so cool.
I remember like the first night I put it, I was like, oh, I think Matt really likes this one. Because I remember I have like a vivid memory of us like in a car getting Wawa or something. And then you queued this up being like, I like this song. And I was like, oh, I'll remember that.
Yeah, it's true. I do very much like this
See,
mashup.
this podcast was planned.
It's true. From the
start.
very beginning. We were grown in test tubes to actually be in
A podcast.
a podcast. Yeah.
We had artificial memories implanted in us.
Let's not go Kingdom Hearts on the audience, AJ.
Sorry. We're not going to go 358 over 2 days.
My literal favorite of the entire
God,
series.
I hate Kingdom Hearts.
I
passion.
love Kingdom Hearts, and I love how much AJ hates Kingdom Hearts.
It's great. It's a really good dynamic.
It's a great dynamic. But I will say, this track is just so fun.
Yeah.
I just love when you're hearing superheroes. All of a sudden you hear burnout.
I know.
It fits so well.
Yeah.
But I will say the middle part when with the pin whistle.
When they do it again.
It's kind of like, did you think I liked it the first time?
One more time.
Mr. Punk, did you think I liked it the first time? No, I didn't. But
I was not burning to hear it again.
Not really, no.
But the moment where like you have the superheroes vocals with the Human After All music backing it is just such a phenomenal moment on this album. I love it so much.
And then also the audience, they join in, so it's like this whole like fucking like chorus of people doing the up in the air. I think they're saying up in the air because it's like a sample of a Barry Manilow song. I'm pretty sure.
Gotcha, and that makes sense because they're superheroes,
if you will. But anyway, it's I do love this mashup quite a lot.
It's a really good one.
It definitely picks the album back up after this sort of like
a little bit of a lull.
A little bit of a lull. Yeah. This mashup honestly is like, I'd say again, it's either 1 or 2 for me.
Fair enough. It's very well done.
It's just very, very fun. Where's the rock and roll influence?
I have no idea. I was going to ask. I put in parentheses.
I can never find it.
Yeah, I think possibly it comes in when it's the superheroes vocals with the Human After All music. 'Cause I have in parentheses rock and roll, perhaps. I'm not sure. It might be in there. I don't really know.
Maybe it's the
Maybe it's the pin whistle.
Like it's like the. I love how I'm trying my best to make these noises when they process these noises for hours and hours and hours so that nobody can replicate
just
these noises.
A lowly college student try his best
on a podcast where they can't even see me.
Exactly.
Oh man, but I do love this.
It's a very good. It's penultimate track, correct? Yes.
It is the penultimate track,
and I think it definitely lives up to that title.
And this final track, it brings it all home.
Yeah, this is like their encore, right?
Yeah, it is their encore.
Yeah.
The fact they brought out music sounds better with you.
That was awesome.
Like, holy
that was
shit.
So
what
cool.
A deep, at the time, what a fucking deep cut. Oh my God.
That was really fucking sick.
It's Human After All together, which I'm pretty sure.
Music sounds better with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more time. And then music sounds better with you.
Yeah.
I think it just really does a good job of just kind of rounding it all like together.
Absolutely.
Like summing it all up.
Like their whole like career essentially, which is really cool.
And the audience goes absolutely fucking bananas on this one, which is something I will say I did enjoy listening again.
Sharing the hype is great.
No, for sure, for sure. Like it's just so it makes me feel so. It makes me feel so. It makes me feel so. What's the word? You know, I can't.
I guess in the end, we really were human after all.
And much like the final track of Discovery, this podcast has gone on for too long. Oh my god.
We hope you find this bit as funny as we do. God, we're getting too much mileage out of it.
We really, it's the new. He looks so young. He looks so young. Oh my god. Yeah, this is a great track to sort of cap it all off. It's not one that I would listen to frequently.
No, but it's a great closer for this entire experience.
In the grand scheme of the album, of the 1 hour and 24 minutes, I believe what it was. That's what it was. It's a very, very nice way to like cap it off. Especially after like such a fucking like high point, like penultimate track right before it. Like, oh my god. I'm sure the people just like, as they were just jiving to this fucking music.
Yeah.
I would have been absolutely feral.
Yeah.
Me and our good, one of our former guests, Alec, we promised each other that if they ever come like to do a tour again, we will be first in line to go see them. I will sell my firstborn child. I'm not kidding.
Just to see Daft Punk.
To Tomas can have my firstborn child. I will go see them somehow. I mean it.
The child will be gone regardless.
Yes. Either way, we just need it. So long as as
long as Daft Punk is involved.
It's okay. You're gonna go with Daft Punk now, all right? You're gonna be human after all, okay? All right?
It'll all be worth
it. That's so terrible. I'm just selling my children
just to see one concert
to French disco artists. Oh my god, that's amazing. Anyway, I don't really have a lot to say about this ending. It's just really solid all around. There's no part that like, frankly, for me, I'm like, oh, you know, this could have been this or this could have been. No, it's an encore.
Yeah.
And in the scheme of a live album, hey, it probably went so hard.
Yeah, it definitely serves its purpose as a concert closer.
I've seen videos of like, I actually watched the concert like a while ago. I don't really remember much of it.
Yeah.
But I remember being like at the end, like, yeah, I would have been going absolutely feral at this concert.
100%. I want to shout out the bass line and like the drum beat specifically. I feel like in each track they use, they really kind of stand out the most, and it really kind of elevates the energy a lot. Yeah. Which definitely helps the crowd also get more into it. So
yeah.
Job well done, Daft Punk.
A job very well done, I would say. And job well done, I think, talking about how much we liked this record.
Exactly.
So shall I go into my final thoughts?
I think so, Matt. What did you think of Alive 2007?
So this is an album that I hold very near and dear to my heart. When I was first learning about Daft Punk, I went through all their discography. I remember hearing like Alive 1997.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, this is okay. You know what I mean? Like, this is a very, very fun thing to do at this point. You know,
Yeah.
they're going clubbing, but then I think I didn't expect this album to go as hard as it does.
Yeah.
And then when I heard all these like amazing remixes, like Television Rules the Nation, Superheroes, and Human After All, the Face to Face and Short Circuit, Touch It Technologic, Robot Rock. Oh yeah, there's like a run on here.
Yeah, it's really good.
There's like a 3-track run, I'd say. You know what? I'd maybe say 4. I think the Too Long Steam Machine track is pretty like good.
its length.
Yeah, bar its length.
Uh-huh.
I think it's got some neat concepts in there.
Yeah.
But then like there's kind of another track run a little bit, like with just 7 and 8.
Yeah.
And then there's another one, I'd say, with like 11, 12, and 13.
Yeah.
So it's got some sort of like, you know,
peaks and valleys.
Yeah. Some sort of gray areas. But like honestly though, it's an enjoyable experience nonetheless. They revitalize a lot of these like riffs and sort of like samples that they are known for flipping and like bringing to their audience. And I think it's really, really cool that they made it into this giant like celebration of their work,
which is really fucking awesome.
And I think that's been one thing that they have always tried to drive the point home. Like, we're very proud of our work.
Yeah.
And we want
to share it with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because music sounds better with you.
Yes, that it does. That it does. I think as an album, though, I have a lot of sentimental value toward it. As an album, though, I will say, like, it's probably not like...
Do you want to get let in?
So while AJ's doing that, I'm actually going to stay right here. And, yeah, they're letting our friend Kat into the studio. Hi, guys. Here's a canned-in moment with Matt. While AJ's gone, I'm actually taking an inchworm and putting it in his drink. He has a Stanley cup. It's black. It has lead in it, so I might as well put some worms in it, you know? It's gonna be a nice little moment between the two of us. So how's your day going? Oh, actually, never mind. He's back. Sorry, guys. Did you pause it?
No.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. Anyway.
Oh, we're leaving all this in. Cool. Can't wait to hear what happens.
Oh my God.
But you were saying, Matt.
I was saying, like, I think as an album, it's like, if we're looking away from like the live performance aspect.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the best pacing wise.
Yeah, there's some fat that could definitely be trimmed.
Yeah. But I think, like, I have seen the video of, like, the live performance, and it really is, like, fun to see it all come to fruition because the audience just looks so hype and, like, all the lights and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a whole, like, fucking experience to be there.
It is. I would say, like, this is definitely probably one of my favorite Daft Punk albums. But I'd give it, like, a high B.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really like it. And there are just there are moments on here, you know, I'll say low A. I'll say low A.
Yeah.
There's some moments on here that just are so fucking iconic, and I love listening to them. And I just have a lot of like love and respect for this album.
Yeah.
And I like to imagine that I was like in the audience. I think that's what's kind of fun about having the audience all around you. Even if I don't like it at parts, it feels like I'm just sitting and I'm just watching this fucking show just in front of me.
That's what a live album should do. Should kind of convey the experience that was had.
I think in certain moments it works.
Absolutely.
In some certain moments it doesn't work. And I guess it's interesting you say that it could use a bit more of it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it could use a bit less.
Yeah.
But
well, look at that. Conflicting opinions.
The
beauty of humankind. I guess we really are.
Oh my God.
Not again.
But in terms of number ranking, I would say like probably 8.9.
8.9?
It's very in high regard for me. I don't think it will ever like lower.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, like, as an album, it's not like the best, but I still really like it.
Yeah, I think that's
like
very fair.
A lot.
And I think as a Daft Punk fan, it's just a very rewarding listen just to hear like their career up to that point.
It very much is. I would definitely concur.
And I guess I'll say one of my thoughts. I think this is definitely a very fun experience to listen to, and I would say would be a lot better to see in person.
Yeah.
Because as an album, it's a little bit of a slog to get through at points just because of like how long it is. But as I said before, as a Daft Punk fan, this was just very cool to just hear all like the little Easter eggs they threw in and just how much they cared about their work, so much so that they put all their work together and combined in such a beautiful way. Even there's like tracks that aren't mentioned in like the titles, but they sneak that in there for like the diehard fans to kind of like catch that, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So it's a really amazing experience. As I said before, like the audience could be boosted in parts because at points it sounds like they're playing to like an empty arena, or like it just sounds like a studio recording because there's not a lot of like that audience kind of hype in the background.
Yeah. I guess I could see there where you would think that in some parts.
Yeah, because I would say for a live album, since like these are all like essentially pre-recorded like tracks, it's going to sound like the studio version. So the live element is from the crowd. So when that's missing at points, it doesn't feel like a live album, if that makes sense. But again, it's still a very enjoyable listen. The high points are really great. I'd say my favorite tracks are Television Rules the Nation, Face to Face, and I'd probably say it one more time, Harder, Better, Fast, Stronger. I like that, and Defunct, Daftendirekt. But yeah, I'd probably give this like a B+. Solid album overall. Probably nothing I'm gonna like an album I'm not gonna go back to super frequently, but except for like certain moments.
I don't think this is. I'm just crazy. That's why I listen to it like so often.
Yeah, but you're like a diehard Daft Punk fan, which makes sense.
I also like when I'm working on stuff. It's very fun to listen to. I like how I do the mollusk when it comes to how long in this how far into this album can I get doing this thing I don't like doing. I do the same with this one too. It's just I don't know. It's kind of a comfort album with me. I think it's very, very fun.
Yeah. I will agree. Fun is a very good word for it. And I believe that'll bring us to our next and last solo album.
Yes, it will.
Of season 2, Mercurial World by Magdalena Bay.
Yes, it will, AJ.
So shall we just hop right into it?
Yeah, with some history.
All right. So Mercurial World was released October 8th, 2021 on Luminell and The Orchard Records, and it is the debut studio album of one of my favorite bands, Magdalena Bay. It is a synth-pop album that includes a lot of variation in terms of sound, texture, and genre. And Magdalena Bay formed in 2016 and consists of Mika Tenenbaum and Matthew Lewin, both of whom write and produce, with Mika being on lead vocals. They have a very prominent aesthetic similar to Vaporwave, with a specific focus on 90s internet culture and absurdism.
Yes, they do. They sure do.
Oh boy.
AJ.
Yeah. So broad thoughts?
Broad thoughts. I gotta be honest with you. I didn't like it
at all.
I loved it. Oh my god, it's such a good album.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh, dude, you fucking got me.
Dude,
holy shit.
It's so good.
Okay.
From start to finish, woo! I was like so hooked from the very beginning.
Hell yeah.
So first of all, it's like the framing around it is so interesting. Because it has like this sort of
a bit of a concept, yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a concept, but like they weigh into it just enough without it being like the main focus.
Exactly, yeah. It's kind of like a hidden thing, just like you were like paying attention.
I'd like to pull a quote from the who's the girl?
Mika Tenenbaum.
Mika Tenenbaum.
Yeah.
They had a quote about this record saying, "If there's nothing before you're born and nothingness after you die, it creates kind of a meeting point here, and life creates circles of what goes around that. So in a way, there is no end." And I think that something about that whole mentality really just kind of like, I don't know. It makes this this is really like a unique listening experience.
Totally.
Also, mercurial, for those who are wondering what it means, it means subject to sudden or unpredictable changes in mood or mind.
Yes.
And
I think that is encapsulated on just the variety of sound all across this album.
Oh my God, yeah. And let me tell you, I was honestly floored by the production and the instrumentation of this album.
Dude, you had me like so fucking fooled throughout the day. I was like, all right, time to fight back.
No, I loved it. I thought it was really, really good.
Hell yeah, man.
I think it blends genres overall like really well.
Dude. Even though like it sticks to this like the main synth pop kind of like genre, there's still like variations all across that keeps it like interesting and also unique.
There are elements and characteristics of other like production styles of genres in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I was really surprised by like some of the shoegaze influence.
Right? Yeah.
Like I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of dope.
And there's like there's a full on like yacht pop song in here, which I adore.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Shall we jump into it?
Let's just jump right into it.
Oh my gosh. So it kind of starts off, not kind of, what the fuck did I say?
It does start off.
Yeah, it's true.
Surprisingly with the end.
It does. But oh my God. Like they started going like, Matt,
wake up.
And I was like, holy shit, it's my name.
That's why I picked it.
I was gonna say, I was like, I was so prepared to write, you're not getting brownie points with me, Tanari.
Nice try, Magdalena boy.
No, but like you can tell from the get-go with this crazy production, this really like sci-fi kind of like atmospheric,
like very ethereal,
but
very technologic. And you also get a sense for their personality where they're like kind of quirky, but like in a fun way.
In a fun way,
and
yeah.
It's very tongue in cheek.
It is.
Yeah, which I like a lot.
I think that honestly shows really, really well in the album without stealing away from the actual like
it's kind of like Ween in that way.
Yeah,
like,
I would say so.
They show their personality, but it's never like the main focus or super overbearing.
You can tell right away it's going to be kind of like a concept album.
Yeah.
But then this is sort of like the false start, and then there's the real start.
Yeah.
Which is the title track, Mercurial World. I
love this track.
There's this right away from this whole dream pop vibe going on. I was like, wow, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
And like I feel like the song structure, like in terms of like the parts of a song.
Yeah.
Like the beginning, like the chorus, the hook,
verses,
like it's simplistic and standard in its like lyrical and verse structure, but like it really works.
Definitely, because like the main focus is kind of the production in there, and like Mika Tenenbaum's vocals just kind of heighten that.
Yeah. I love her vocals.
So do all. She's one of my favorite like vocalists out there.
God, I was really, really enjoying it.
She's got like this kind of like wispy, like very like high pitched delivery, and it's just so satisfying on like Matthew Lewin and I guess Mika Tenenbaum's just samples. They're great.
The pre-chorus, like it leads to this chorus that's like this all instrumental hook.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's really, really cool.
And then like the layered vocals, it sounds like it's coming from like an old computer.
Yeah.
Fucking rips.
Oh my gosh. You really thought I was going to hate this album, didn't you?
You haven't. I was like, fuck, man. I thought he'd like that a little bit. I was like, oh, it's the shoegaze. That's where it was.
God damn it. I always forget about the shoegaze.
It's love us all over again.
Nah, I'm also coming around a bit on that album too.
Okay.
I will say. A lot of times AJ will give me albums, or not a lot of times. Sometimes AJ will give me albums where I'm just like, I don't really like this. And then I end up liking it more the more I listen to it.
It's a bit of an American football situation.
A little bit. This was not an American football situation whatsoever, though, this album, because I really liked it from beginning to end.
Hell yeah.
I have favorite tracks on here. Oh, let me pull up my favorite tracks, by the way, for when I can mention them.
Nice.
Yeah, no, this is a great, like, real opener. It's so catchy. Like,
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Which is really cool, too. It's a nice juxtaposition from kind of like the super airy, like fun open intro with just like the kind of spoken word in the beginning, and then it goes to this almost ominous kind of sounding, like ethereal, just like held down keys with like the digital, like super digital chorus and instrumental break.
Yeah.
They balance that like so fucking well. I love it.
Balance is the one thing I think you can really appreciate from this album overall.
Oh, yeah.
Because they just know how to like...
Yeah, like nothing steps on anything's toes.
No, exactly. I have a couple more things to say about it if you don't mind.
Go off.
Like I said, it sets the tone even quicker than the first one, I feel like.
Yep.
Well, the first one sets it pretty quick, but then this really just like...
Yeah, for like the main like focus. Yeah.
The singer off the bat is like perfect for this kind of like vibe they're setting with this like whole dream pop fusion of like all this like synth haze.
Yeah, it's like hyper pop almost.
It's so good. It really lulls you into this setting quite nicely.
Absolutely.
And I feel like they just, oh my gosh, I was so excited to see where this was going to go next.
Hell yeah.
Into this, like the first of my favorite tracks.
Oh yeah.
Dawning of the Season.
I adore this track.
This track is so good. It's like, it sounds like MGMT.
Yeah.
Which I really, really, really like. The beat is so good. The bass
is so fucking
sweet.
Good all across this album.
All across this album. But on here, I was like, oh my God.
It rips.
I just love how like it's like a standard like hit on the downbeat.
Yeah.
But with the amount of things like going on, it fills in the space.
Yeah.
Like so well.
Especially during the verses when it just does like the little strums after Mika's vocals like da na 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 na.
Yeah.
Da na 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 na.
I was listening to this earlier today, and I was just like, oh my God, this goes so hard. Like,
it's great.
Jesus Christ. It has this like glittery synth thing too in the chorus that like will kind of just like like happen and like kind of show itself every once in a while. It's it's really, really nice like production like setup.
And like the chorus is so catchy too.
Oh my God.
Which they're really good at this, like all across this album. Very good hooks.
Really earwormy. Really, really earwormy kind of album.
Definitely.
I love how in the end it kind of changes the key for like a split second. But then it kind of like almost seamlessly reverts back to the original key.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It threw me off guard. I was like, what the
It's almost like it's like a practical fade out. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like I really like this track. It was here where I was just like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be an album that might be for me.
Hell yeah. I'm so glad to hear that, man. But I fucking love this track. This is one of the first ones that I really kind of gravitated towards when I first listened to. It's not a single, but it has like single quality, I think. It's very catchy. I love how it transitions into the next song. Is really great.
Yeah. Oh, the transitions all across this album are phenomenal.
It has such a great album flow all throughout. The texture of just the music is so rich, and there's just so much to dissect and just like pull out.
Yeah.
And everything just like complements each other, and in both of the channels, it's fantastic.
I think one of the things I will say, because I know it has like sort of shoegaze influence with a lot of the vocals being buried under the music.
Yeah.
I think I have trouble not being able to dissect tracks.
Okay.
When I'm like looking to like analyze them, where I think with Loveless it was a little bit harder.
Yeah.
I see the appeal definitely now, which is really, really nice. But like of Loveless is what I mean. But with this one, like everything is so clear and rich, and again doesn't step on anybody's toes.
Yeah.
Enough where I can just be like, wow, I really, really can pick apart this.
Hell yeah.
But like in a good way.
Exactly.
Like, dissect is a better.
Yeah.
Pick apart sounds like, fucking vocals.
Yeah, Mika, fucking Matthew, bass line. Get it out.
They said my name, and it was I really, really like this track. This is when I was like, oh, I'm in for a fucking treat.
Oh, yes, you are.
So shall we?
Let's keep going to another favorite of mine.
This one is also a really good track. I think it's not like a favorite.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're all kind of my favorite. I gotta be honest with you. They're all really, really good.
Let's fucking go.
But they're not like in my top, I don't think. Secrets, parentheses, Your Fire. The seamless transition is so fucking good.
Like it has this like nice build up at the end of Dawning of the Season before cutting right to this really like low key wet synth. It's great.
I adore how this is where I was starting to really notice that it was taking elements of like other genres.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is really fucking cool. I also really love just like the analogy of trying to not be oxygen to your fire.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I really, really like that. They mentioned that like a few times. I love the way this track utilizes chords.
I know. The piano is so fucking nice all throughout.
I was also really proud of myself with how many different genre influences I could name. And then I looked on the wiki and I was like, oh, cool. I was right.
I'm right.
Like chiptune. I love, they utilize chiptune synths so well with this sort of like monochord kind of like deal. It's so fucking cool. Oh my God. And then it has a striking piano.
Yep. In the verses.
Oh, it's so cool.
And a sax solo.
Oh, at the very end.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so cool.
Fucking rips. I love the verses of the song so much. Just like Mika's delivery. It's very tongue in cheek. Also, have you seen any of their music videos?
No.
I think you'd really dig them. It has this like very shitty, almost like Tim and Eric quality where it's like really like they go hard into like the 90s internet aesthetic. It's a lot of green screen and a lot of like cheap practical effects. It's very fun.
I try to not do music videos when I'm listening to albums.
Yeah.
So I can just kind of get like the like complete just music.
Yeah, the raw experience.
Because I don't want to get distracted.
Yeah, that's
you know
fair.
what I mean? I have a couple more things to say about this.
Yeah.
This is one of those tracks where I feel like it just felt so carefully made.
Yeah.
Like you hear all this stuff and the vocals are buried in a lot of noise half the time. There's one track where they utilize it so well and I'm just like, this is fucking epic.
Yeah.
It's buried in noise, but like it feels so meticulous and so carefully made at the same time, and I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, dude.
There's like this old timey like orchestral sting like in disco.
Yeah,
and it really just, oh my God.
Yeah, the beat is definitely very disco on here, which definitely works to its benefit. There's also this moment, I think it's during the third chorus where everything drops out and you just hear Mika go Secrets, and then the beat comes right back in, and it's such a great moment.
It is. It's very nicely paced and nicely nuanced.
Yeah.
I love the way that the channels trade off with a lot of the instruments that are being used. And then like the outro, oh my God, has this like dream sort of sequence to it, which is
on like the almost like a reverse piano, it kind of sounds like, which again then transitions beautifully into the next track.
Which, do you want to talk about the next track?
Yeah, let's hop into it.
This is another track that I fucking adored.
Hell yeah.
It's called You Lose, ! And from the get-go, I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Hell yeah, man.
It's such a nice change up from the last track, too.
Yeah, it's very different. It's almost like kind of punky a little bit. It definitely leads into the shoegaze in terms of like the tone of the guitar, a lot of distortion.
But I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It's like so much more intense than like the last track that we're hearing. And also, I love like the constant hit of like the downbeats too.
Dun, 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 dun,
It's
dun,
so
dun.
cool. but then like it cools down to show off like the acoustic elements in between.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is that reminded me of like M83. I feel like they kind of do that like a little bit, but here they do it like so much better.
It's a really good way to transition between the verses and the choruses, where it keeps things kind of like building in the verses before really punching in the choruses, where Mika just like screaming, the guitars go all out. It's fucking awesome.
I love how you can't quite place this in between like you can't quite place it between like EDM and shoegaze.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what's so fun about it. They kind of like take enough from both different sides and just kind of make this amazing
amalgamation.
Like, yeah, and this is all across this entire record.
Totally.
But the guitar trading off with the insanely driven EDM elements are just so fucking cool. This one, I was really feeling like this video game-esque vibe, which is really cool because it's called You Lose, and it's just like
I love the hook of the chorus. The you aim, you attack, you lose. It definitely leads into the video game aspect very well, and I just love how that flows. The syncopation of that is great.
It drives the point home so well without like explicitly telling me. Yeah, and I think that's what's so amazing about this. And like it had so much static and so much noise like in the middle, but then but like in the best possible way, and it's so fucking full of energy, and I love this track. This track is so good.
It's very, very good. It makes sense that it was a single.
Honestly. Have we hit any of the other singles yet?
We have Secrets was number 2.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I know what the first single is. It's coming up in 2 tracks.
Yep.
But yeah, let's keep going.
Speaking of 2,
Something for 2.
I like this one a lot.
This is also one of my favorites. Yeah, it's very good.
It's very sweet.
This is an even crazier change up from the last one.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, the bass on this one.
It's like a hip hop like beat almost, which fucking is so cool.
It's crazy.
You got the 16th note hi-hats, which just pairs so well with this more like low-key kind of mellow vibe. That's what this track goes for. It's great.
I think a sign of a good song when it comes to like overall usage of like the space that like they kind of create production wise. I like when songs make me feel like I'm submerged almost. And this one, like the bass by itself makes me feel like I'm just submerged under this like ocean of sound or whatever. Yeah. It's so fucking cool. And the beat, oh my God, is so good. It feels this rather like somber-ish kind of vibe, but
it's a bit minor, but like there's still something like dreamy and hopeful about it,
with plenty of action too, and the beat to kind of keep it like moving. There's so much rawness in the content of this track too, which I can really, really appreciate. I feel like it plays off really, really well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like compared to other tracks and what they're being written about. Yeah, I feel like this one very much like plays with that trade off of like, this is a slightly happier song. This is a not as happy song. Like, you know what I mean?
This is like a more like human thing compared to like the artificial kind of stuff we've been hearing about.
It's so interesting. Like this record sounds like an alien trying to like perceive human like emotion. Connection.
Yeah, connection.
And like,
yeah, it's a good way to put it.
But like marred with this idea of continuous like life. Yeah, like it's so weird, which we'll get to that in a second, which, oh my God, later down the line, there's this moment where I audibly made like this noise of like, oh my God.
Hell yeah.
That's so clever.
Nice.
Oh my God. I really, really like this track though. It's a perfect change of pace, I'd say, from the previous.
A really sweet sentiment. I think Mika kind of really stands out on this track here with her vocal performance. I really like the juxtaposition between the almost kind of like flat delivery with these ominous sounding verses with these like really dreamy, uplifting sounding choruses, and it's just about like building a relationship. Yeah. I think it's just a really well done song, and it's one of my favorites as well.
No, for real. And the chorus is just super catchy. Yeah. The bridge has this really nice breathing moment too, where you just hear like the ringing of the synths. It absolutely rips. It's so good.
They're really good at build-ups as well.
They are. Yeah. But like not in a formulaic way.
No. Like everything is earned on this album.
No, for real. Yeah. I would wholeheartly agree with that. I would also say that everything is earned, especially this first single that's coming up right here. Chaeri.
Chaeri. I think it's Chaeri.
Okay. Yeah. Chaeri. Chaeri. Yep. Track number 7. First of all, the transition. Yeah. Very nice.
Dude, it's like an almost like house EDM track. Yeah. Which is really cool when compared to like the lyrics and the concept, where it's just like really like sincere, like apology song, but like backed by this like super like out there spacey dance like beat. It's very interesting.
No, it is. It's a very interesting juxtaposition that you would not expect whatsoever. It's like an almost juxtaposition where it's like, oh, I would have never thought to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I got you.
It's interesting because they're not exactly opposite things, but you also wouldn't think
them together. Yeah.
So I think that's what's really interesting conceptually about like the way that they like arrange this and stuff. But yeah, this track is fucking awesome.
It's great.
I love how much this fills my ears, and I remember writing this. I was listening up to like 1 minute 22 seconds.
Yeah,
I remember thinking like this isn't even so high action yet, but like there's so much sound in my ears right now.
Like, it's really impressive the amount of sounds are able to like fit into a track without it like overtaking anything or becoming overwhelming. Everything just complements each other beautifully.
Or overstimulating.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, exactly. Very nice chorus. This chorus is probably one of the most catchy ones.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because it is the lead first single. But oh my God, like
Mika shines here as well. She goes like more for like the high, the wispy kind of a style, and it really fits like the overall theme of the song, which is about like mental health and being there for a friend, regretting not being there for a friend when they needed you most.
Yeah.
Which is a very like touching kind of sentiment. And I think it's delivered really well.
It is. This beat, it has like this dryness to it that's like really, really fun. And then the chip tune synths in the right channel. And then the bass kind of having this like ooh-wah kind of like, no, it's so good. You wouldn't think to kind of like those elements by themselves would like create such an amazing, full sounding track, but so good. And then that bridge with like the syncopated section of the triplets where you hear the real kit being played. I was like, that is fucking tight as fuck.
I know, dude.
Like, oh my God.
The 3, 4 down to the floor. Ugh.
This was a very delightful re-listen between last night and this morning.
I'm glad to hear, man.
I thoroughly enjoyed this album a lot.
That's awesome. But Matt, we're only halfway through.
I know, and wow, that really was perfect timing. I didn't even mean for that to happen. But like, I really like this part too because I think they acknowledge the fact that like, oh, you're halfway through.
You're listening to an album.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's really, really cool, and this one just reminds me of like chill diving with Echo off of Floral Shop.
I got Tame Impala vibes from the beat.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that. Just like the whole like electronic like synthesizer thing. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. The lead synth is also really, really nice too. It's an interesting way that they're kind of framing like some of
the structure of an album.
The structure of an album. I was also going to say like conceptually with a lot of like these relationship kind of deals with this way of like saying like, oh yeah, there's really no end, because I can kind of tell there's probably going to be like a loop thing because it starts with the end
and then it ends with the beginning,
which is really, really fun. I didn't know research, by the way. I don't do research on albums until I listen to them. Like I always try to do like a raw thing and then like, because I feel like it adds to a much more like learning experience.
Exactly.
I feel like, but anyway, at this point I was just really blown away by all like the stuff concept wise and content wise that I was hearing, because they make such human experiences feel so much bigger
and
than
grander.
They actually are by pairing it with this whole like
production of like production.
Oh my God, it's so wild. And it's just like an angelic interlude.
I love Mika's vocals on I guess technically the chorus when she kind of like sings instead of like speaks. And then it has this really cool like ambient outro. Which I assume is like where the vinyl kind of cuts off so you can flip it over to the next track. But yeah, it's very well done.
It is.
And a very clever idea.
It is a very clever idea. I like this a lot.
And now we move on
to a track that I think might be my favorite off of this record.
I adore this track.
This track is so good. It's called Hysterical Us. Oh my God. When I heard this track, I was like, wow. Like I was not fatigued by this album, first of all, at all.
Let's go.
And then here with this one, with this track, I was like, oh my God, this muted guitar in the left channel with this delay. It's so good. And not only does it have that, it has like one, I'd say probably one of the catchiest choruses.
100%
on this record.
So the funny thing about that, I don't know if this was intentional, but the chorus has the same exact, I think, chord progression and melody of What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers.
Really?
Yeah, it's slightly different, but it's if you listen to both of them like next to each other, you can definitely hear the similarities, which I think makes sense because they're going for like a yacht pop kind of sound.
Yeah.
Based off their yacht rock. But it works so fucking well.
It works perfectly.
I love it. Mika's flow over top of it is great.
It is.
It's just really nice and bouncy and fun, juxtaposed by these kind of like dark, scary lyrics.
Yeah.
It's really a great song.
The piano is fantastic too.
Phenomenal.
I really, really like this here. It's like utilized perfectly. This is another instance where the trade-off between their more digital and electronic elements are being paired with like
acoustics.
These acoustic elements.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really love the way they utilize the piano as it kind of like travels from channel to channel.
And as it transitions from verse to chorus, where the verses are mostly acoustic, but then you have that accent buildup where everything kind of combines and explodes in the choruses.
It's very nice.
It's amazing.
It's very, very nice. This is how you revive disco right here.
Totally.
This is literally how you revive disco. I also love like the hits, or how it kind of goes like 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then like, it's like an eighth note or whatever, followed by like a half note or some shit.
When?
And like the fourth beat.
During like the verses or the choruses, or just like throughout?
I didn't write that.
I'll take your word for it.
No, I really, really like that though.
Yeah.
Like they did something with, it would do like 1, 2, 3, and then like 4. It wouldn't just be like.
On the guitar or just on the drums?
I think on the drums.
On the drums. I'll have to listen back for that.
From what I remember, it was something like that.
Okay.
We'll see afterwards.
But yeah, I fucking adore this track. It's so good. It's about just like paranoia and anxiety in relationships.
I like it a lot.
And it's beautifully written. And also the fucking at the very end when the verses are kind of fading out, you hear kind of the dueling vocals in each channel, where you have like the main kind of chorus in the right with this like kind of overlapping Mika in the left, just like saying something that compliments her, kind of like how Diener does it in LMLYP. I know it's a very crass comparison, but it's the most accurate thing I can think of.
That's the second time you've referenced Ween in comparison to this record.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wow. I like Ween.
Yes.
And I like Magdalena Bay.
I guess I do too now I think about it.
Now you understand my hoodie.
I can relate to you now.
Oh my god, that's gonna be a joke that no one fucking gets but us.
I know. Yeah, that's the best part about it.
That was funny. Holy shit. I say we keep going.
Yeah, I say I have another thing to say.
Just fucking say it, Matt.
Dude, the bridge on this is like probably my favorite part about this track. It's like there's such minimalism with it, oddly enough. Only having the strings, a piano, and then a shaker.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god. This one is definitely like my favorite track without a doubt.
I love Hysterical Us so much. It was like I think I said Dawning of the Season was the first one. This was like the favorite when I first listened to it. I love this track.
No, it's fantastic. And I see why you like this track. It's amazing. It's
phenomenal.
This next track is also pretty good.
I really like this one a lot.
It's very solid. It's called Prophecy. I think after the last track,
it's hard to live up.
Which I need to, in my opinion, I feel like I need to go and listen to this track again so I can kind of try and appreciate it
on
more.
Its own.
Yeah. I feel like I don't have a lot of notes for this one.
Yeah.
I like the way the beat happens for the verse and chorus part, but then it drops out for like the transitions.
Yeah.
That's like really, really cool.
It's this really cool like combination of like R&B with almost like a Disney soundtrack.
Yeah, I can definitely see the Disney influence without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Like,
especially on the choruses.
Yeah. And then when the beat drops out too, like I mentioned before, like the strings just kind of like bleed.
Yeah, and they swell.
It's like this weird, like, oh my gosh. It's like this nice crescendo as they bleed into your ears and stuff.
And you have these kind of like water drop synth as well in the chorus too. Adding some nice accents.
We're describing something that's so wonderful, but the way we're describing it sounds so horrific. It bleeds in your ears and there are water drops.
And it explodes and swells.
Enjoy that, audience. AJ's going to edit all those things into there.
Oh, God, I guess I am now. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Because when you're panning for gold.
All right, guys, this is the last episode I will be a part of.
The family album, actually. Yep. AJ quit after today.
I did quit.
Be sure to listen to Tom Hates AJ, the new hit show that I'm producing. No.
It's a sitcom, actually.
For audio.
The first audio-only sitcom.
It's a laughter track, but there's audio. God, I hate us so much. Anyway.
But I don't hate this album.
The chord progression on this track, Prophecy, is quite nice.
Yeah.
And I love how, like, there's this synthesizer solo in the middle. And dude, honestly, like, my only complaint about this is that I wish it was longer.
Yeah, fair.
It's just so good.
I agree. I really like the different, just again, going back to just how eclectic they are and their choices of sounds here, I think is exemplified pretty well here. They have like a phone ringing at some points. They have wind chimes, and of course the strings are great.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, the water drops. But like, even though this is a pretty basic song, they still are going for that like eclectic kind of like everything in the kitchen sink production style.
Yeah.
And it still works really well.
It really does. The bass is also phenomenal on this track. Like, it's so good.
It's great.
It's amazing.
Oh, and I said there's a little Dennis DeYoung solo. That's what it reminded me of.
Not much else to say about this track. It's fantastic. Just in my opinion, compared to the last track, it's like really hard to
live up to that,
compete to. Oh my god.
But next up, we go to a track that I think is probably the weakest point on the album, in my opinion.
I gotta say, man.
Yeah?
I fucking adore this track.
You really like this one?
This track is incredible. It's called Follow the Leader.
Yeah.
It's the 11th track of the record.
It's very artsy. Has almost a synthwave kind of a backing track.
I did write that, yeah. There's like, it's very synth heavy.
Yeah, and with some like art pop elements in the vocal filter. That's like the big kind of like noticeable change, as well as the really high pitched background vocals.
Yeah.
It's kind of like opera like hold notes. It's very interesting.
It's very nice. Like, I think aesthetically it's a very like fun setting you're kind of putting us into.
Yeah.
I love how like this preset with the vocals, like you mentioned, it's like this sort of like glitchy, like
very digital.
Yeah. And then there's like this dampened like drum section in the middle of the song for the chorus, and just the angelic vocals like left and right.
Yeah.
I can definitely see this being the weakest point because like they do rely on this like sort of like real overly like digital
processed,
but like I think it works, and I think like it definitely kept me on my toes enough where I was like, this is really interesting, and I really like listening to this.
I think it is definitely like a nice change up, and I respect the ambition and experimentation here. I say out of all the tracks, it fits on here the least, but it still fits.
I can definitely see that though, without a doubt.
But also the bass and the synth on this track are fucking amazing. I love how just like deep and crunchy and just like chunky they are. Yeah. It really carries here.
And we're talking about chunky, that vocoder type like harmony, like something about that. I'm just like, wow, that's really, really, really fascinating.
So fucking.
I almost tried to say awesome and fascinating, AJ,
if you will.
This is how you do it, Nate Roos.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, like, don't fucking do the shit like you did on Stars. That shit sucks.
That shit was ass. That was really bad.
Always holding on the stars. God, that track could have been so good.
I know, it sucks that he
starts off so good.
He fucking ruined it.
He fucking fumbled the bag on that one.
He really did. It's such a shame. Listen to our first episode with Tom.
Yeah.
Some nights.
And I wish it was our last episode of Tom, now that I think about it.
That's true.
No, I'm kidding.
The family album does hate Tom.
After all, shall we move on to track number 12?
Yeah, because this one's really fucking cool.
I like this one too.
We got Domino.
The vocal lead here is so cool. It's so cool. It sounds so ethereal.
Yeah, going back to it actually kind of implements elements of both You Lose and Follow the Leader, which is really cool. It goes back to the kind of shoegazy style, especially during the choruses with those distorted guitars, but it also has the angelic background vocals from Follow the Leader in there, and it's a really nice blend.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Dude, it fucking rips.
Yeah, this track is cool.
The bass and the drums, they just go so hard, even just right from the beginning. What was I going to say? Yeah, no, it's really cool. Like, this is where I saw another usage of like the genre stealing, I would say. Like, it's so interesting how they kind of do the shoegaze type production with the vocals being buried, but it works.
Yeah.
Because the way I like how they do this, it's like, it feels like the vocals are buried in the middle with like all this noise, but then like it reverberates like outwards.
Yeah. Instead of just being lost.
Yeah. It's so interesting. It makes for this really fascinating, like atmospheric experience.
And it also like keeps it pretty clean during the choruses too. So that's like when the vocals really get a chance to shine.
It feels like an EDM song with like shoegaze elements.
It's very cool.
And then the piano, yet again, in the left channel is so good.
Yep.
This is an outstanding track.
Hell yeah, man.
I think at this point, like I wasn't really fatigued per se, but I took off my headphones. I like had to use the bathroom or something, and then I came back. and I was just like, I was kind of worried, like, oh man, I still have 3 tracks, and then I started this one up again. I started this one up, and I was just like, oh, never mind.
Yeah,
it's still,
we're so back.
It's still pretty. It's still pretty fucking good.
I'd say that there's not a bad track on here.
No, not at all.
The last 3 run, it's probably like the weakest besides the closer. I fucking adore the closer. But like we're just kind of like, you know, slowing down for the finale.
We are.
Yeah,
we are.
And I guess with that, we should move on to the next one, Dreamcatching.
Ah, man, this beat is so interesting.
It's very, very trippy.
It's got this like clicking, like typing kind of beat.
Yeah.
I only know that because I'm currently doing an extensive audio project that involves like keyboard typing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit.
It's my project.
Did I leave my file in their production thing by accident?
Oh, Mika, no.
I'm so
That's
sorry.
the wrong Matt.
Matt, you left your file on our desk.
Mercurial World 2.
This might be oh, AJ, this is a huge moment.
A huge moment.
This is a huge moment right now.
Holy crap.
This might be one of the only times that I actually like spoken word in a song.
Let's go.
Seriously.
Hell yeah.
This may be one of the only times I actually like spoken word in a song.
That's fucking tight, dude. I'm glad Magdalena Bay could do that.
Because honestly, I've never enjoyed any spoken word section in like a song really as much as this.
But here it's so fucking pleasant.
Because it's also like in rhythm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I like about it. I mean, I guess I like the mollusk too, but even then it kind of fits in the parameters well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the kind of world of that song.
Yeah, exactly. But again, another Ween reference with Magdalena Bay.
Exactly.
Anyway,
a lot of overlap.
I do love how it builds up. Like the song really just builds and builds and builds with like every lyric.
It's like very psychedelic, very vibey. I love the chorus a lot. Just the ooh. It's such a nice hook. It's just a very just pleasant song to listen to.
It is. Oh, without a doubt, it very much is. The beat is just so good.
And then they have it fucking puts you on your toes when it switches like this like chaotic like breakdown during the bridge where like everything kind of gets like really like these sound like worldly drum influences are all over. It's very interesting.
It really is. I also wasn't expecting like this absolute bass flood.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, like on the Dreamcatching chorus.
Yeah.
Again, another point where I felt like the bass was just submerging me in sound. Like, oh my God, it's so cool. Like there's a lot to process, but it's not in this way that's like, again, overwhelming or overstimulating. It's like, it feels like looking at like a very vast, like canvas of like a painting or something like that.
And being able to pick things out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So closing track, we have The Beginning. One of maybe my favorite track on the album. I fucking love this track so much.
It's very cleverly done for so many reasons that I'm about to get into, and just oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I love the usage of the audience in the background on this track. It's really, really fun.
It's a really rewarding moment for like the whole album where everything just kind of comes in on the very last chorus.
It's a very cheeky acknowledgement, which I also really, really like. If you're feeling low, then sit back and enjoy the show, right? It's something like that.
In Technicolor tonight.
It's really cool. It really does feel like the finale of something.
Oh, yeah.
But then it's like this message saying just to like not sit in their sorrows and try to like learn from their experiences and stuff like that.
And look at things with a whole new lens.
Because like it's funny, like I don't want to like really steer this away too much. But for this one class that I'm taking in my final semester of college, I'm taking this creative writing class, and we had to read this this book. It's called Letters to a Young Poet.
Yeah.
It's by Rainer Maria Rilke. And he kind of starts telling this guy who aspires to be like a writer and just an artist in general, because this young poet is seeking advice from this rather experienced poet, but he only gives life lessons. He doesn't ever give like, oh, when you're writing advice, don't do like, he only gives life lessons when it comes to that. And I think that's just like kind of a nice like little message.
Yeah.
Because he also says like, listen, even the bad parts are like really necessary.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and like even the low parts are necessary. Like take what you will from them, but
and
don't
if you feel low, sit back and enjoy the show.
Examine your life and be like, yeah, that happened, but at least I'm
a better person because of it.
Yeah, I came out on the other side. You know, it's something that's like honestly really just. I really resonated with that because of me reading that. So that was really cool.
Oh yeah, dude. On a more technical side, I think the production is really fun.
Oh, it's really,
it has
really
this
fun.
like almost cinematic kind of feel to it, where it has like the strings come back in a little bit. It's really peppy, really upbeat beat. The chorus is so fucking catchy.
Yeah, it is. It's perfect in every way.
Has a nice bridge that ties back to the first track at the end where Mika's like, Matt, go back to sleep. I figured it out. It's a nice little payoff to the whole album.
It really is. And let me tell you, when that ending happened, I mean, Spotify automatically put it on loop.
Yeah.
So when it ended and it got into the first song again,
yeah,
I made like an audible noise.
Hell
like,
yeah,
I was like, oh my God.
Nice.
That's so cool. Because I'm already like so like enthralled by the fact that how fun this album is. And then like it does shit like that. And I'm like, wow, this is really, really dope.
Yeah, dude.
AJ, shall we get into the final thoughts though?
Let me see what else I have to say about here. There's an awesome key solo that happens. Oh my God, that key solo is fantastic. I think on like a keytar.
I think at this point in the record, like I did like this track because it is one of the ones that I really, really liked.
Yeah.
I think I will say there was probably so much like happening.
Yeah.
And just from the overall experience, I was just like, wow, this is like really.
I got you. Taking time to reflect.
To take in. Yeah.
I got you.
So I feel like musically, I just really think it was perfect in every way. And like, it's a good ass ending, honestly.
Yeah. I love the lyrics a lot, and Mika's delivery is really fun, especially her energy during the choruses. The bass and the drums, again, are very well done. They kind of hold everything down, keeping everything crunchy, and it's just a very great way to end the album.
Yeah.
So, Matt, what did you think of Mercurial World by Magdalena Bay?
What else can I say about this record other than like this is more of a listening experience than like an album, I feel like. Like it's so awesome. Like the production on this record may be what I love most about this because it's almost flawless. It's like almost flawless. It might be flawless, honestly.
I kind of think it is, in my opinion.
I just feel like I never like making too bold of claims. Like, I don't know, like, oh, this is perfect. Because someone's going to be like, actually...
have you ever heard Pinkerton by Weezer?
That might be the one time where I say...
You're objectively wrong.
No, yeah, it's just the production on this album is honestly unmatched.
Yeah.
From anything I've ever heard so far. Every single song is catchy and like pretty simple to grasp, but like by no means entirely simple. The way this record kind of frames itself and that like makes it a concept album is also what like sort of kind of a concept album is what makes this so enjoyable too. Yeah. Because it's like a concept album that doesn't really steal away the entire album with its concept, but still kind of leaves you with something to like
dissect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the concept isn't really the main focus. It's just something that's like included in the album that just makes it more unique.
And I've never really seen that done before, I think, in a record that I've listened to.
Yeah.
I was honestly also astounded by like how emotionally sophisticated this album is, and I really, really liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Like I said, it feels like it's an alien trying to like figure out what the human experience is. And it's just amazing. Again, I love the way that they kind of make all these really typical human things and feelings and emotions, these larger than life, like almost galactic
make
sounding.
Them feel so grand.
Yeah. No, it's so cool. I feel like this album, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I promise it's a good thing. This album is what Coldplay thinks Music of the Spheres is.
Gotcha.
This is what they think Music of the Spheres is.
Yeah.
They did like 9 different fucking planets per, like a planet per song.
Yeah.
This is literally like its own thing. And it didn't even like give itself a hard rule set or anything like that.
No, it just had fun.
It just had fucking fun.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very good show for when I was feeling low, you know?
Hell yeah, man.
The blending of genres work so surprisingly well together. And it doesn't leave me feeling like, oh, it's too experimental for me to get into it. Or like, no, it's perfect. It's the perfect balance.
Yep.
You see, here's the deal. I put this in like the A sequence of tiers, but AJ, I think I might have to put this in S tier.
Let's go!
I think I might have to put this in S tier.
Hell yeah,
because,
man.
Oh my God, like even just re-listening to it this morning, because I wrote these notes last night at time of recording. This morning I was like, wow, this is even better in the daytime for some reason.
Hell yeah,
but
man.
Like even just the second time, this is just better. And I'm like, wow. This is really fucking cool.
I'm glad you enjoyed, dude. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, 9.6 out of 10, I think.
Nice, man. Well, I mean, you kind of took a lot of the words out of my mouth.
It must have been while you were kissing me.
And
you know?
In fact, Matt, it is more than you deserve.
Continue.
But I adore this album. I love it to death. Magdalena Bay. It's my favorite album of 2021. One of my favorite albums of all time. Shout out to Mike the Snare. famous music YouTuber, for exposing me to this album. But the production is definitely like the highlight here. There's just so many little things to dissect on each re-listen that really bolsters each track. Everything is in there for a reason, and it never intrudes on anything else. It just blends together to create this beautiful listening experience through and through. As he said, with the genre bending, it's really well done, and it keeps things fresh while also sticking consistent to the overall synth-pop sound. Mika Tenenbaum as a vocalist, I fucking adore.
I agree. She's phenomenal.
I think she's one of the greatest female vocalists out there right now. She has such a fun personality to listen to, while also just having such a captivating, unique voice that fits the tone of her music so well. Matthew Lewin, of course, I believe he does the bass on most of these albums.
I think that's what I read on the wiki. Yeah.
But his bass work is phenomenal all throughout.
Yeah, it really is.
Again, props to both of them for their production, because they fucking killed it. I would highly recommend checking out some of their music videos. I think you'd really enjoy them.
Okay.
They're very fun, very quirky. They have a new album possibly coming out this summer as well.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really excited about that now.
So at time of recording, I'm fucking stoked. But this album, I will also say, I want to say this in the beginning, but this album definitely sounds like the album cover a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. Without a doubt, yeah. I love the way... It's kind of like, it's almost like a Salvador Dali-esque sort of like
it's a pair
phasing
of
of textures and realities and stuff like that.
Holding the pink planet that's kind of melting. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's sick.
And yeah, definitely really encapsulates just the sound of this album. I love it to death. I love revisiting it. It never gets old. Favorite tracks, I'd probably say The Beginning, Hysterical Us, Dawning of the Seasons, Secrets Your Fire, Something for Two, Prophecy. There's so many. Mercurial World, they're all great.
They are.
Mm-hmm. What are your favorite tracks, Matt?
Oh my gosh. I gotta say, just in order of track listing.
Yeah.
I gotta say Dawning of the Season, You Lose, Something for Two, Halfway, Hysterical Us, Follow the Leader, Domino, and The Beginning. If I had to go for my diehard favorite, it had to be Hysterical Us.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. In second place, I think I had to say, I'd probably say either Domino or Follow the Leader.
Interesting. Very cool.
I really like that song. And then in third place, I think I got to say You Lose.
Nice.
Actually, flip You Lose, put it in second, and then the other two are in three.
Cool.
Because they're tied.
I got
I really liked You Lose. And if it wasn't for how incredible Hysterical Us is, You Lose would probably be number one, because I just love how intense it is, but how upbeat it is. Oh God, this album
it's masterful.
It really is masterful.
And I can't give it anything lower than an S tier. I fucking adore this album. It's probably a top 10 album of all time. I love it to death.
I see why. I genuinely this album is phenomenal.
I'm really happy you liked it, man. You really had me fooled.
I'm sorry I fooled you. I'm sorry I fooled you. I thought it'd make for a funnier.
It was a good bit.
Reveal.
You really caught me off guard.
Yeah, I'll also do the opposite next time, where I'm like, I hate
so
it.
Good.
That I finished it because it's terrible. No, I'm kidding.
When I bring on Paradise Theater by Styx.
Oh no, there's more Styx.
There's a lot of Styx.
No, please. I guess I'll have to face that, though, in season 3 of our regular episodes.
Let's not focus on the future, Matt. Because even though it is the end, it's the beginning of a new era. Well, thank you guys for...
AJ, I think I just dropped a tear. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm joking. I definitely didn't.
But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I think season 2 was pretty successful. Even though we're not technically done. It's our last solo episode, so we're gonna get a little touchy-feely, a little heartfelt.
No, for real, because this is how we kind of ended last season.
Yeah,
we ended we did us guest, all that forever, and then we ended on a just AJ and I episode. Yeah. So it's kind of it's like an ending, but not really.
I guess you could say we're halfway.
we just might be. But yeah, no, I really like this season as a whole.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, we'll have more time to reflect it in family meeting final, because that's the final episode. Because we're going to do the retro.
Yeah, we're going to do a big ranking retrospective of all the albums we listened to, just on the main show. No Tom Hates albums included.
Oh, okay. No Tom Hates albums included. Thank God.
Okay, yeah.
Thank God you told me in this episode.
Yes, now you know for that episode.
Yeah. I will. Are we also just doing season 2?
Yeah, just season 2.
Okay, I need to do season 1 too at some point. Maybe I'll do that for a family vacation.
Yeah, I did it, so you can do it then too.
It's true. I better step the fuck up, you know?
No, I think you can do it a lot better than I did.
No, but this has been a very, very fun season.
Yeah,
I like all the albums that most of them, I guess. I liked most of the albums that we listened to.
I like the range we had.
We did.
Yeah.
I tried really, really hard over the summer to like find other albums that just were not typically what I was listening to. Mm-hmm. And I think honestly, I even found this year alone like albums that I cannot wait to bring to the table.
Nice, man.
So
yeah, it's definitely a big step in our journey as podcasters.
Yes, exactly.
But I guess with nothing else, that'll do it for this week's episode of The Family Album. I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
I'm Matt Glass.
Thank you all for listening. We love and appreciate you, and we'll see you next week for our last guest episode.
Peace!